Pennywise. Bum, 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 bum. Pennywise is a shape-shifting, crazy demon clown guy.
Demonic baby animal.
It's been about 2 months, still haven't seen Pennywise. Today will be the first day.
I see him in like 4 hours. They're gonna put him in the place that we're about to film, and then when we go in there, they're gonna have our first reaction. I'm excited. I'm like really excited.
We've only seen him like in a video, but we've never seen him like in real life.
I really hope Bill's not method.
With how scary this house is and how scary he is, man, it's not gonna be any acting. It's like, it's really gonna be scary.
There's something always off about clowns. There's never a well-finished, happy clown. There's something off all the time. It's in their makeup, in their hair, in their dress. So I never understood why they would be attractive to kids. Actually, I think they repel kids more than anything else. They definitely repelled me.
Well, the clown is a bait. It's an incarnation that basically is designed to attract children, because children like clowns, supposedly.
Pennywise is a tricky character because it essentially is an entity that's been around since before time, essentially, in a different world, in a different dimension. And he comes to Earth and hibernates, and then he's awoken and he starts feeding off of humans, preferably children. And Pennywise is one of his shapes that he takes to kind of lure children in and to feed off of them. Even just to audition for this part was fun for me, because it was just like, do your interpretation of what you think the clown would be.
What I remember most about first seeing his audition was that he put the makeup on. And I don't remember anybody else putting the makeup on. From the first time you saw him, you weren't seeing him, you were seeing his interpretation of a clown, and you were also seeing that he was committed to the point where he had someone do his makeup. Passion often wins the day, and Bill brought incredible passion. He chased this role, he knew he could do it, and he was going to make us understand that he could do it. But certainly in our mind, in Andy's mind, the decision was a very easy one.
I probably connected with his madness and the inner balance of someone who can look very cute and sweet and childlike, but is hiding something terrifying. And when I saw Bill for the first time, I saw it immediately.
Where are you going at?
His performance was brilliant because he was on that verge. I saw his eyes. He was basically transmitting something so powerful that I got very curious.
It meant a lot for me that Andy responded to whatever I did. And because of that, we did have kind of a connection from the beginning. He trusted me and I trusted him. So we kind of both figured out what the character was together, and then I could really go for it and know that I was in good hands.
Well, float down here.
Apart from being an incredibly talented actor, he has an amazing control over his body and some weird control of his face in particular.
I do this thing with my lip. It's a thing that I've been doing since I was a little kid. And I always wanted to bring this like lip thing into a character. So going into the audition, I was like I wanted to use the face and play around with that.
I wanted to give Pennywise a walled eye, because in my vision of the character, sometimes his eye would fall off, and something that was very cute and sweet turns into something much more unsettling because he has that weird balance. So when I mentioned that I wanted to do that digitally, he said, I can do it.
I had kind of a lazy eye and I can make it go.
It was crazy because what are the chances that the actor that you cast can do that practically?
I'm not afraid of you.
There was all these different things that I've been meaning to put into a character. Then this character appeared, and I just kind of put all these things together to make as much of a weird, disturbing performance as possible.
Egg boy!
It was hard for me to figure out what the character looked or moved like or anything, because such a big part of it is the makeup and the costume. And I didn't know what that would be or how it would look or how it would feel to have on you. So going into it, I kind of really broke down the character intellectually, like what I think this entity is, but I couldn't really physically become him until I got all the makeup and the costume on.
And he's a very visual person, and he's constantly drawing and drawing and drawing. And I think that was the Pennywise he would get when he would close his eyes.
My approach to the look and behavior of Pennywise was based on the essence of the character from the book, but also on a different perception of the character, which was more edgy. I wanted him to bring something new to the story. I wanted him to be more unpredictable and mad. And Bill is an actor that naturally brings that to the set because he never does the same thing. He's always bringing a little bit of nuance in every take that he does, and that's priceless.
It mentions in the novel somewhere Pennywise is its favorite form. He really enjoys doing the clown. So that was something that I wanted to play up as well, that he's having fun while he's doing this.
Beep, beep, Richie.
You're playing an entity that's playing a clown. So it's like these kind of steps. And I wanted to get that into the character, that there's kind of glitches almost, that it's not just a clown, it's just something off, something weirder, something even more sinister. I wanted to create this feeling that you never know what's gonna happen when the clown's around.
Again, it's a shapeshifter. So in the beginning, we see him in the storm drain. He has these beautiful blue eyes, which are Bill's eyes, and we didn't want to hide them because that's a moment when he wants to lure Georgie in.
The childlike thing was part of the visual look of him. There's prosthetic pieces around my cheeks to kind of get those little childlike roundness of the face. There's the teeth. Pennywise is created out of the imagination of children.
Time to float.
So he lives and breathes by children, or because of children in a sense. So it only made sense to me that there's a childlike quality to him because he's forever linked to children.
Seeing Bill in costume was overpowering.
I did have a separation because of everything, and you walk out to the crew and they go, "Oh, hey Bill, how are you?" Go, those eyes are cool. Yeah, it was a hard time for people even to just like be normal around you as well because of how you looked. It was by far also, in a way, the loneliest production I've ever worked on, at least from my part, you know. But I think it also benefited and helped the performance.
Dressed as Pennywise, he'd be so massive and overpowering and would look down on you, sometimes with his yellow eyes, sometimes with his blue eyes.
There's just so much going into putting on the makeup and the outfit and everything, and it's very uncomfortable. So I had kind of my little team, like the little Pennywise squad, which is Neil and Shane, who was the two prosthetics guys, and Miranda overseered my costume, and Jasmine to put in my contacts. Like we were a little crew of like my team of people. They were the ones that saw me, did me, and made Pennywise come to life. And then I would go to set, and then there would be this little Pennywise tent where I would just sit by myself. So there's this huge kind of detachment from the crew and me as a person because there was just so much going on. And then a lot of the scenes that I do really demanded your focus, and you just needed to be in sort of a state of mind at least, or I wanted to be in a state of mind at least.
And also, we wanted to keep him away from the kids as much as possible because we wanted the reaction to be real.
They've been very secretive. Andy's been very secretive of it. I saw a picture. I don't know if it was. I've seen character models, but I was shooting and I saw something on Barbara's computer that I probably shouldn't have seen. I don't know if it was him, but it might have been a character model. I'm not sure. I have no idea.
The kids have shot like a month and a half already, and they've gotten to know each other, and they were all like kind of best buddies at this point. And nobody had seen Pennywise, or not, the kids hadn't seen me at least.
Have you guys seen Pennywise yet?
Nope.
No.
No.
We're not allowed to see him. Oh, I think that. I'm gonna call he has blue hair.
I'm gonna say
hair.
he's.
I already think I know. I heard something. I heard one thing. That he has
a
one green eye and one orange eye.
He's supposed to look like a mime. Something like a mime.
That's the only thing
I heard from Andy.
I wanted to keep the distance between Bill and the kids because I wanted to carry that tension to the set until the last moment. Of course, it's normally good for one scene, but that one scene was very essential because it was the moment where all the losers confront Pennywise.
I think we all also decided mutually that it would be good to see him for the first time and just be freaked out, because like in my stomach I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is good. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be amazing. And it was terrifying.
If you see Bill like walking into the set, he's like this impulsive 6'4" guy with a giant head and crazy hair and these crazy eyes. And the fact that he kept the distance with the rest of the kids generated another uncomfortableness in them. And I think the tension was very palpable and the scare was real.
I'm not real enough for you. He's just so sporadic. You don't know what he's gonna do. You don't know if he's gonna love you, kill you, choke you. It's scary. I don't know what else to say. It's just scary.
It wasn't real enough for Georgie.
Oh my God. I still haven't seen Bill in real life, like actually as Bill, since the table read, which was at the start of June.
The first scene I shot was with Jack. I think it's probably one of the, if not the most intense scene in the film in terms of Pennywise and another actor, because it's so in his face.
Oh, wow. Yeah, his warm-up routine is insane. Like, he's getting his hair and makeup stuff, he goes, and he just freaks out. It's insane.
As soon as it called action, it's on, and it's like me trying to be as kind of horrific as I can, and loud and physical and like all these things. I really get into his face, and he's like crying and like gagging because I'm drooling on him.
Tasty, tasty, beautiful fear.
Andy has a thing with spit and drool. Like, I don't know what it is that appeals him about spit, but there's something about it that he loves. So I got a lot of drool on me.
He's very drooly, and he brought this to the character, and it's a great thing because it's like Pennywise, he gets hungry in the presence of, scared children.
So basically, Pennywise is slamming Jack or Eddie against the wall, and they're both so great. I mean, this is the first day or second day with Pennywise, and he's insane.
As I'm doing it, I'm like, this is great, but like I can't pull back now because we're rolling, and then a cut, fantastic cut. And I just go like, okay, Jack, are you okay? And he just goes like, oh, that was awesome, man. That was awesome. That was awesome. I love what you're doing, man. I love what you're doing. Love what you're doing.
Bill is young. He's 25, super athletic. We were shocked at how little stunt work we had to use. He was so physical that we barely needed any of it.
I'm all for having a stunt guy doing something that's dangerous. There's so much about some of the fight sequences in the movie where Pennywise's physicality must be Pennywise's physicality, and I wanted to bring my movement and physicality in as much as I could. It was exhausting. We would do the scene, and it's like so much physicality and noise and screaming, and I would messing up my voice, and the kids are like all fighting. And as soon as they said cut, I'm like on the ground, just like just breathing, and like so the kids walk over, it's like, hey Bill, you okay, man? You okay? Yeah, it just a second, just let me catch my breath here.
I feel bad. I'm hitting Bill really hard. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm hitting him hard to me. For him, it's like a baby tap.
Do you want a balloon too, Georgie?
I'm not supposed to take stuff from strangers.
Oh, well, I'm Pennywise, the dancing clown. Pennywise? Yes, meet Georgie. Georgie, meet Pennywise.
I knew that there was something in the character that would grow during the shoot and something that we would discover. I think it was a great idea that we left that opening scene for the end because we learned so much about Pennywise. By going down that journey, both of us observing what was going on and basically paying attention to that evolution in performance and realizing what worked and what didn't.
Can you smell the circus, Georgie? There's peanuts, cotton candy.
There was a lot of pressure to get that scene right. That we created, it's a pressure we created, Andy and I. It's iconic because it's very clearly an important moment in the book. And it's true that if you were exposed at any time of your life to it, you're gonna think of that. It's very difficult, for me at least, to look at a storm drain and not think of Pennywise lurking.
I should get going now.
Without your boat?
The result of that exploration basically paved the way for making that conversation between Georgie and Pennywise something that we could calculate better. I couldn't be more happy with the result.
I think this is probably the most exhausting character I've ever played. Every scene I'm in this film is just 100% energy at all times. So it wasn't easy at all.
When you're creating a character that is unpredictable, you definitely can use versatility in the performance. And that's definitely, if you see the movie, you can notice, you can see how that unpredictability plays, and it plays into the scary. Working with Bill was a real blast.
It is different, obviously, like any adaptation should be, but the essence is so much there. And then having someone like Stephen King approving of it, when he saw it, it's the seal of approval that you would want, right? The guy that created the novel thinks the movie did a good job. So I do hope that fans will feel the same way.
Working on anything for anyone, it brings people together. Especially when you're working on something so high-strung and so, like, down and dirty, you're definitely gonna bond along the way. Like, we're losers, right? But at the end of it all, we fight a killer clown, and we're no longer losers. I guess we're winners, so that's pretty cool.
This movie, in my opinion, is more a movie about friendship and how these friends pull together to get through tasks with each other. Because if we didn't have each other, then we would never be able to get through these things.
Boom in the face! Now everybody goes for rocks!
At first you think it's a horror movie with a clown that's trying to maul children, which it is, but it shows how to gather up the courage to defeat your fear. You need people with you, and you need friends, and you don't need to do it alone. It's very touching.
We all have the strength to do it because we're together, and we all notice that if we're not afraid of Pennywise, then we can beat it. It's definitely overcoming that fear, and we do it because we're with each other.
Yeah, we need to get out of here! Dude, guys, Beverly is down here!
The way we're all bonded together, hence the name, we all have certain things about ourselves that ostracize ourselves from the rest of the city. Either it be weight, a stutter, African American. And I think that really bonds us together because we really have nowhere else to turn. There's no one else who really cares for us in the town of Derry.
There's a lot of character development in that book, and we try to fit as much character development as possible into the first movie, but if we fit any more character development in this, it would be a 4-hour-long movie, which would not be practical. I mean, we wouldn't have a problem with it, but...
Everybody seems to easily relate to their characters, and they don't just portray their characters perfectly, they bring a new light to their characters, and it makes acting and my job so much easier.
The reason you're attached is because everybody has been there, which gives credit to Stephen King for writing characters that are so relatable. Either it was your shy girl like Beverly, or you were out of shape in middle school, which I think everybody was in middle school, or you're me, who's ostracized for race. It's relatable. It's just a relatable story with relatable characters facing semi-relatable situations.
How do you get into being scared of these guys? I mean, they're actually real nice guys, right?
They're nice guys, but when we're in the scene, it's quite scary, you know? We forget all about our friendship and just get the movie done. We have a good environment, and it gets a lot easier when you have good actors with you to act actually scared because you are.
Was it hard for you guys to become friends, like the losers and the...
No, it was really easy. We all know it's different when we're in the scene and when we're out of the scene, because it's funny, like, they'll beat you up or something like that, and then after the scene, they'll be like, are you okay, are you okay? So, you know, we had no problem becoming friends.
The whole Losers Club, working with them, has just absolutely been a blast. And we're especially excited that it's summer. We all just got back in school, sadly, but, you know, when it wasn't it was really good.
It's so hot.
It is so
So hot, Nicholas.
It's because of me. What are you gonna do?
Like the first day we met, we could have been friends for like 10 years, it looked like. The chemistry with everyone on and off set is absolutely amazing.
The moment of realization was in the rehearsal, because I saw it coming to life. The first scene that the 7 losers were together, I understood that we had achieved like the bond. The kids understood their characters perfectly, and I got excited because half of the movie was already guaranteed.
It's so hard not to laugh at you.
Me and all of the losers and the bullies get along so well. We're like a huge family. We hang out like every day. After set, we go to dinner together. We have sleepovers and we see movies together, and it's very, very cool.
Today, guess what we did? We freaking stood on a cliff. It was insane. It was amazing. It was awesome. And we, thankfully, Andy let us improvise, so that was really, really great.
This is definitely, I think, the best chemistry I've ever had.
We're gonna splash in water and then we're gonna lay on some.
No, we're not going in water.
Well, no, we are, but not on film. We're gonna lay down on some rocks and talk about dead children and the Torah or something.
So, in our class,
Yes.
it was the last
I want to spend my free time.
Well, he talks about
really
it.
annoying kid. I was
Missing
the last one to
children.
get an ice cream cone for some reason. Got a hold of it. He had it, and then he like,
Missing.
They are very easy to talk to. I didn't really think about it until I came on set. I was like, oh my God, all these kids are like 12-year-old boys. It's like I'm gonna have to work with them for like 3 months. First look, they seem very hyper and very, very interesting. But they surprised me. They were very nice to me, and they're very interesting to talk to.
I'm a fan, and I got a really good time. I got a really good time when I go down to the market.
Once you get to know them, they're very nice.
Hello, I'm Stay in the world of you.
Good job.
Oh my God.
Good job.
Let's do another one.
Whenever people ask me, how is it like working with all the boys? And he's like, shh, I don't think they noticed.
Come on. Did you watch it on the monitor? See him? Did you watch it on the monitor?
Yeah, no, a little bit.
Pennywise.
What does he look like?
Did you guys see it on the monitor?
Let's see. Coming process out.
Can I bend it?
I think it would be a very different movie if we didn't get along. One, because you have to see that trust in the movie, and it just wouldn't be the same thing.
I don't really connect with people often. I mean, I connect with the directors and producers, but this is like the first time that I've really been able to express myself in front of these people, and I think these are the people I just trust the most in the world.
They were really ambitious to choose kids to really play kids in this movie. It makes it so much easier on me because it's not that I'm just inside my head trying to push myself to get there. The environment is great, the set builders are fantastic, and I have great actors saying lines like it's really coming from the heart.
Holy fuck.
I'm Ben Hanscom, and I'm a loser.
There's no way of portraying certain characters if you don't find an actor that shares the DNA of those characters. In this case, like some of the characters are very colorful, and to portray a vivid characterization, you need people that have that DNA in them.
Join them! And I was crazy, he's dying! He's a gun! Go! Help Betty! Get Eddie!
Andy always lets us kind of pitch in our ideas before he tells us our notes, because working with the 7 kids that make Losers Come to Life, everybody has such good ideas.
He really sat down and gave us the time to really develop our characters. When we're on a scene, and he'll come up to us and say, is there anything that you think Mike would do? Is there anything that you think Georgie would do? He doesn't just see a movie as a director standpoint, he sees it as an actor standpoint. He even hired us Mr. Ben, who is an acting coach and a mentor. He's Mr. Ben, I love Mr. Ben.
Part of my process is getting to know the actors as well as I can and find their strengths, their weakness, what upsets them, what makes them excited, and also to bond them all as a group. They all have aspects that link into their characters very well, you know, just in their own personalities. So the first 2 days of rehearsals, I felt very assured that we cast exactly the right kids.
People who all stall around the corner of the crow with the key of the corporate wheel all at the same time. I'm not going to do that ever again.
The first 2 weeks working with Benjamin Perkins before shooting was great. We were getting to know him, and we were getting to know each other. And he was letting us do these exercises where we would learn about each other, and we would just become more comfortable.
How are you?
Legs are the heaviest part of the body, everyone.
Yeah.
Besides his head.
Oh, yeah.
Smart.
Sophia's.
Get in there, get in the shot.
We spent the primary week and a half just getting to know each other, getting to know each other's names, hanging out, going out to eat, partying, just so that the relationship as friends wasn't just acting. We knew each other's fears, pet peeves, stuff like that.
We were just doing this exercise to get comfortable with each other, like looking into each other's eyes for 3 minutes, which was awkward at first, but it was like a really quick way to get to know each other. And it was so weird because the second day of knowing each other, we were so close. We knew so much about each other, and we were best friends already.
It's Wyatt's 13th birthday!
We did some training. We did bike training. We had choreography for fight scenes, which has been phenomenal. We were prepared. It was fun.
Jeremy, look! Jeremy!
And then I go like that. I think we do it too much, but we like to joke around on set.
Right. I don't think so. See you, Pennywise.
Because things are getting really emotional now. We're about to leave, and also the scenes are just so tough. We're fighting Pennywise, so we're having fun offset as much as we can.
Hey guys, I locked Finn in the trampoline.
I want to see. No bite. Don't worry about it. Jaeden, that was a cool lightsaber battle. That was cool.
Hey, cuddle, let's cuddle.
Oh, God.
No, dude, it's not gonna...
It doesn't work like the cuddling type.
I think being so close has helped our acting out a lot. For example, with the Wyatt scene, when we're saving Stanley, everybody felt like that was Wyatt. And I felt like I really hurt Wyatt, and I hurt everyone, all my friends. And it just helped us a lot, getting that emotion out.
For emotional acting, this has been the most intense thing I've ever done.
Stanley!
Shut up, all right? You're gonna shut them up because these guys are experimental, all right? We need to listen. We need to listen.
That day, we kind of like talked before the scene that we need a few minutes to really get into character because it was definitely an emotional scene and it's hard to just, when they say action, get into character.
In that scene where we find Wyatt, he jolts up and starts screaming at us and blaming us.
We're comforting him and we're all bawling our eyes out. And actually, that was the first time I've ever cried, on command. I can cry when I'm mad in real life, but first time I've ever cried acting, and it was pretty amazing. I could not stop crying.
I did the scene 3 days in a row, so that means I cried my eyes out 3 days in a row. At first, I didn't want to do it again, but then I was like, you know what, it's gonna look good, and I think it's gonna pay off.
It was a pretty emotional moment. You know, the curious thing is that it coincided with one of the last days of shoot. The feelings you see on the screen are very much what the kids felt that day, because it was one of the last days that they will all be together. You can feel the sadness and the need to be together for the last time and thank each other, and they just let it go, and they were all crying, and they were crying for real.
I talked to Ben, the acting coach, and Andy, the director, and I was like, okay, well, what if it's a role reversal where Eddie is talking to Wyatt, calming him down, and I'm at the foot of him crying, and it sort of just turned into everyone started crying.
Finn and Jack could not hold back their tears. I thought they were just trying to stay in the moment whenever Andy was giving directions, but they were just crying, and not until after we just hugged it out.
Once I finished that scene, I was still crying. Me and Jack were still crying, and then the producer Seth came up to us and just gave us a big hug, and he was like, man, you made me cry and I have no heart. And so I was like, okay, that means a lot.
Feeling them all there with me, and it was just it gave me a feeling, because we're all best friends. Off camera, we're best friends, lifelong friends. And just being there in that moment where everyone's crying. Also Wyatt. Wyatt is a great actor to work with. He takes you there.
I've been in that place before. I've shut myself off from the world and just cried. But I think that was the first time they opened that door, and it's definitely hard. But I think a good hug will resolve everything.
There was not a dry tear in the room, besides Jaeden, which was weird.
It was definitely a very weird and out-of-body experience.
It won't be the Losers Club, thought you. But yes, it will. I mean, no, it won't. Oh, wait, no, it won't. But we'll still be there in our hearts.
They had spent basically all the summer together. And they felt that this was going away, that this was, you know, the end of this magical summer. Also because they're all 13, I think, at that time. So it wasn't only saying goodbye to each other, but I think very much like in the book, after that summer, they were saying goodbye to their childhoods.
Now it's just coming to an end, but I think I've been really anticipating this for a while. It's sad, definitely. But I think we're all ready to go back to our normal lives. Yeah.
It was really like a family. We had a lot of fun doing it, and there were highs and lows and everything, but we had an incredible time doing it.
Good job, man.
It's coming to an end, and we're all really sad. But, you know, we might do some reshoots, and we'll see each other at the premiere and everything like that.
I think that we've managed to achieve a great thing. We didn't create an artificial friendship. The friendship's so genuine, and it just became this thing that ran on its own.
We're all like brothers now, and sister. But now after 4 months, I've never been so close to anybody else.
I can't even say it was a job. This has really been like the best summer ever.
Oh my gosh, this summer has been the summer of my life. I'm never, ever going to forget this.
That's nothing.
Losers Club for life. What's up? Oh, stupid. What am I saying? Okay.